Hello, everyone. Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, coming to you from snowy West Michigan, where you'd expect to look out the window and see Bytor battling the snow dog. Seriously, we've been getting a lot of snow here. Ever since Thanksgiving, there's only been a couple of days when it was not snowing. And I live now close enough to Lake Michigan that the lake effect snow here in West Michigan is really significant. Anyway, let's get on with this. We've got these are recent acquisitions, but also these are releases that came out this year in 2025. And I got three of them. And I'm going to start off with this first one here as the newest release by Geese called Getting Killed. Now, I have Geese's prior two albums, their debut Projector, and then 3D Country was the next one to come out. Both of those are really great albums. 3D Country is a really excellent album, very strong. Getting Killed, I don't know what this is about. This is musically, this is really good material, but at the same time, the song structures are not definitely not traditional. They're explosive and chaotic at times, but at the same time, it's really good. But then lyrically, the content doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There doesn't appear to be some cohesion going through in terms of the lyrical content. I tried to think, okay, maybe this is a concept album. And so I was trying to figure out what the concept was. And there are some connections between the songs in terms of thematic material and sometimes the presentation. But at the same time, there are songs that are really kind of just disconnected from the rest of the album. Now, having said that, as I want to repeat that there is some real strength in the music, this post rock and somewhat, as I say, unstructured noise at times. It's very intense. But at the same time, yeah, there's no traditional song structure. Things go from, I really don't know how to explain it. So, for example, the opening track, Trinidad, is really intense and angry and fragmented. And then it's got this recurring chorus, there's a bomb in my car, that the lead singer is shouting, as the song progresses. So it's even got this on this insert that goes with this. But yeah, Cameron Winter, and this is the insert that's on the inside. Cameron Winter, his voice throughout the record is really emotional, and it vacillates between these guttural shouts where the emotion is just so raw, and then there are other parts where he's kind of like a crooner coming through. There is a theme, I think, of violence going through the record for the most part. And with the new release, I got as I'm kind of going all over the place here, I got the clear vinyl. But yeah, I'm kind of going all over the place because the record kind of goes all over the place. And it, this is, I've already given this several listens, but I'm going to need to give it more. I'm not, I'm just having a difficult time categorizing the material. And the interesting thing is, when you read reviews, when you see and hear about fan reaction to this record, that the fan base has really embraced it and apparently really loves it and is saying great things about it. So the record and the content apparently is really filling a need that the fan base either knew it had or craved or was unaware, and it was, it's just filling it. Yeah, this is the title song, Getting Killed, has this line in it: getting killed by a pretty good life, which really stands out to me because, you know, the song is saying getting killed by a pretty good life, not by a great life, just a pretty good life. So there's that kind of perhaps a theme working through the album, this notion that things are good enough to keep me going until I die. That I'm going to get killed by a okay life. Um, and from a political standpoint, I can relate to that notion that, society creates an environment for people to have most of their basic needs met, but it's just enough to get by. You're too busy surviving and finding what pleasure you do find. And that's it. There's no time to really take a step back and go, is this the kind of life I want to live? So that's, getting killed by a pretty good life. Things are okay. They're not as great as they could be, but I haven't got any time to do anything to change it, kind of thing. So I found that really, interesting. 100 Horses is a song where it really goes punk, I think, with this. The lyrics to this is, all people must smile in times of war. When I read the lyrics and there's like glimpses of a story being told, but it's not fully revealed. So yeah, this is a really interesting album. I will say that I like it, but I don't understand it yet. It hasn't quite clicked with me in that sense. Yeah, this is a really interesting album because I feel like the band has really stepped outside of itself and is liberated in a sense, in terms that it's not constrained by what would be traditional song structure. I'm not going to call it avant-garde. By no means is it avant-garde, but it's a free-for-all in some respects. So yeah, I need to continue listening to this to kind of get more of a sense here about what's going on. So far, what I'm picking up from it is that there is this anger and frustration and an alienation going on. And it also appears to be an alienation. The focus is on men in general. Like the Island of Men, that's one of the songs. you've got this song about a place where it's, all the men go to, and it's kind of like a metaphor for alienation, for isolation, of how men are isolating themselves because of this world that we find ourselves in, and that's just giving us a pretty good life. Um, yeah, so yeah, this is it's just, I guess I'll stop right there, and I'll play the needle drop for you, which is the opening track, Trinidad. Yeah, that song is like, I got a bomb in my car. Um, yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for now. All right, so moving on to the next record is a band that we at the Gunkles, we have reviewed one of their records before, and that is the Rose City Band. And what I have here is this particular one called Sol y Sombra, which is on this very cool purple vinyl. Um, and the Rose City Band, the one that the Gunkles reviewed was Garden Party. Very cool psychedelic album. I really, really like that one. I really, really like this one as well. I do like Garden Party better. Okay. But this is a really good album. Ripley Johnson does the vocals, guitar player, and writes many of the songs. And at times he has a Jesus and Mary chain quality to his singing, like Jim Reed, that it's very soft and subdued. His lyrics at times are almost whispered. So you've got that going on, and then there's also a little bit of a sound wise, a little bit of Jesus and Mary chain. But some of the other songs too, it's country psychedelic rock, and so very much like perhaps New Riders of the Purple Sage, or other, little bit like Grateful Dead. In fact, the opening track on here, which is Lights on the Way, very much reminds me of Touch of Grey, Grateful Dead's Touch of Grey. Really fantastic cover here. I believe they're from Portland, even though this is a Southwest, image. You got a saguaro cactus, so that's Sonoran Desert, which would be Arizona. And Sol y Sombra, with the Spanish language. But you've got Open Roads, which is a very countrified kind of song, country psych rock, very much like New Riders of the Purple Sage. Rolling Gold has a Jesus and Mary chain vibe to it, but it's again like countrified. And then there's the Seeds of Light, which is a really, really nice song, and Wheels, which is the next to the last song on side B, has a groove very much like Sweet Jane. But again, it's got that sound quality to it, the tone that's very Jesus and Mary chain, in my opinion. from, if you think of 9 Million Rainy Days from the Darklands album, that's really kind of what's coming through. So Rose City Band, this is a good listen. Definitely a welcome addition to my collection here. I want to get that Garden Party record as soon as I can. And then I'll play the needle drop for you, which is going to be the song Seeds of Light. Yes, really lovely stuff. Really enjoyed this record. Now, another one that's in the even more into the psychedelic realm, and we're talking psych rock from mid to late '60s style, very much, and that is this release, new release by the vinyl community member, which is well, it's Psychedelic is the channel. Forgetting his name here at the moment. Let me pull out some of the material here. Right, Derek Fisher. And he teamed up with Jacob Pavlik, and the two of them put together this album. Fantastic front cover art here. You've got, again, this saguaro cactus, so we're talking about this, image from the Sonoran Desert. But then you got this mountain and this glacier, huge, rising up from the desert floor. And then above that, you've got the cosmos. This could be an aurora, or it could be a nebula out in space. So very much, the psych vibe going on here on the back. It's got this insert, which is basically just, photos of to go with it. And it's on black vinyl. I ordered it from Bandcamp. It is a limited edition, so if you want a copy, you'll need to probably move fast. Right from the start, as soon as you drop the needle, this is going to launch into this psych instrumental, the very 60s vibe with an atmosphere. I mean, listening to this, it's like all you need is like a beanbag chair, a bong, and a lava lamp, and you're all set, to go with this. Really great start to it. And then you've got the next song, Dreamer, which carries on this experience, but now we're getting some vocals. The first song was an instrumental, and it's got a very Hendrix, feel to it, almost like he's summoning Jimi Hendrix, from out of the cosmos. I will say that the music on this record employs all the techniques used in psychedelic music, but it does so skillfully that it avoids becoming a parody of itself. So you've got everything going on, from the real fuzzed out noise guitar to wah-wah to even a recorder being played, and other synthesizer distortions and sounds, and and cowbell and woodblock, and it's just really amazing, all the techniques and the styles that are put together. But like I say, it doesn't become self-indulgent, and it doesn't become a parody to itself. Next song, you got Creation, which is this very short, ethereal and space-like interlude that's an instrumental. And then we go back into Concentrated Skies, which kind of has a wall of voodoo feel to it in terms of its tone. But it also has, as if it's a combination kind of wall of voodoo and then Donovan at his most sinister, if that can kind of make sense to you. Then we have another brief instrumental interlude that is called Galactic Remedy. And this is, my notes just simply say sparkling and radiant. I mean, that's how the song struck me. And then side A closes out with Short Circuit Mine. This is a real hard psych rocker with some real fuzzed out guitar. And then the vocals are in the background. All right. They don't really come forward very clearly. And which I really like that technique. It reminded me so much of Loop, which is a noise rock band that's really exactly what they do. The vocals are there, but you can't quite hear them because they're overwhelmed by the guitar noise. So it made me kind of wonder if Derek or Jacob, both of them, were fans of Loop. Side two, one thing my one critique is with the Short Circuit Mine is that the song fades out. I'm not a fan of songs fading out, especially a song that has this kind of power behind it. It just, to me, it needs to just like end, reach a point where everything like, the power of all the instruments is like, and then just ends. The fading out part, that's my one critique of this entire album. All right, so side two starts off with Deserted Route. This is an instrumental that seems kind of like an homage to Syd Barrett. Found it really, really interesting. Then Colors You've Never Seen, which is just a blatant admission, or confession of LSD. The song starts off, last night I took a trip on LSD. So yeah, we're definitely getting some psych rock going on here. That's very, very clear. The next song is Radio Yacht, which is kind of an exploration in noise. It's going further even, and it's 1 minute and 38 seconds. It's going further, but kind of the same territory. It's going further than Maggot Brain, even though it's only 1 minute and 38 seconds, not like the epic and peripatetic sounds that you would get in Maggot Brain. Very short, but man, it just really reaches further, I think. Then you've got the song Chapel. And much like the title of the song suggests, we're talking about like a church-like or a very, I don't want to say church-like atmosphere, but it's quieter. And then the outro, the outro just kind of soars into these keyboards, and then the song fades. And the fading out of the song in this instance, to me, works really, really well. And then we have the closer, Misty Hollow, which just has this magical feel. It's almost ceremonial, like you have a group of pagan dancers in the forest, and and they have these long robes on, and they're wearing these masks, and they have these antlers coming out of their head, very much like um, uh, bands like Heilung, which is a Scandinavian band that is more of a folk psych kind of uh, mm, uh, I want to say metal band, but but it's not like heavy metal or anything like that. But that's kind of the thing that they do as well. And then it's got this combined sound of Syd Barrett and Velvet Underground. And then you throw in the theatricality and the mysticism of a band like Heilung and Goat, which is another Scandinavian psychedelic band that has very pagan roots and origin to their music. Yeah, Misty Hollow is just a really fantastic song. Um, really fantastic record. And with each listen, I am just discovering more and hearing more and appreciating more, and not just in terms of the musical quality of the tracks, but also the putting together, um, the recording and the production value going in this. The needle drop I have for you is going to be the song. Let's see, what did I do here? The song, because Short Circuit Mind. Yeah, that's the song that I did the needle drop for. Good stuff, man. This is a really, really solid album. Uh, I'm really glad I got it in my collection. It is a limited release to 500 copies, so it's probably going to go pretty fast because I've seen several other people in the VC who have picked up this record and have done reviews of it. So might be going quickly. You might want to jump on that. So there you have it. Hey, leave a comment in the Down Under. Appreciate getting the comments from you. And also, hey, do the thumbs up, hit the like button. Even if you're already subscribed, hitting the like button really helps send a signal to YouTube to more broadly distribute the content. You should be doing that anyway with any video by any creator that you watch and you enjoy that video, even if you're already subscribed. Hitting the like button helps the creator and lets them know. And certainly if you're interested and have not subscribed already, I would appreciate that as well. You can also find me on Instagram, where I go by the handle of NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. And I also have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo, where I post these videos that I create, but also other music-related videos and article content. So, hey, there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again. And remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.